Okay. Good morning for you where it's almost morning. Hope you're having a wonderful day. God bless you, brother, and may you stay blessed. All right, let's take a look at BTC and talk about what I see happening, what could be happening, what is going down. Did we bottom out? Did we double bottom here? Is there a chance we could continue to move back to the upside? What is going down? All right. Let's break it down. Let's just look at the top-down analysis for BTC. I still got a short going. Boring, right? Same like all day, really. Just we've been sideways the whole day in the same place we were at when the show started this morning, which is kind of crazy, right? But that's the type of day it is. Bookmap suggests we are going to go lower, 101,000, a bunch of red, and then 98,000. So if you had to go anywhere, it says you go somewhere to about 98K for BTC. But let's first look at the monthly and then move from there. It's crazy, right? How long it felt like October took forever to end. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Appreciate that. All right. And let me make sure I sent this to the group. Yep. Weekly screen share. I did it to both places, the screen share section and the lifer section. All right, cool. All right, so cool. We're right at basically, if we're really honest, 1023. So we just lost monthly support. So we've got to close the monthly candle above these two candle bodies to remain bullish. If we don't, we're going to have some issues, right? We're likely going to come down and test 96. And then if you test 96 and lose it, you could test 87, 82,000. So right off the bat, we are pushing below this level, which would assume that we are going to go down to 96,000. So right now you have to assume you're going to go down to 96. If the month can close back above 102.5, okay, then we can call that a bullish move possibly, and then maybe we can bounce, and make something like this, like maybe price action can bounce off this yellow line and we can consolidate, and then we can still break out maybe. Even if we pump, it looks like it's going to take 1-2 months to get back to like close to the all-time high, or even just a 115, 116. When you look at this, like it will take a month of December, then January, then February. It doesn't look like you're just going to reverse out of nowhere. You did have these three candles. What if we had something as fast as that? Basically you need like a crazy pump, like just immediately, all the way to 150K. It could happen. Even if it's amazing, though, like as amazing as these last 4 months were, it says you don't get there till March. So we could get to 150K by April or March, something like that. I'm not saying we're dumping down the drain forever. I just want to come to terms with the fact that this is a real correction. All the other ones were just like, okay, we're going to bounce. And I was able to find the bounce area. I didn't lay down because we hadn't lost the daily 200. And so as long as we didn't lose that, I kept saying, all right, but I'll show you my reasoning for all the things that I do, right? Again, if you got into the tweezer bottom with a stop below here, you still are technically in the bottom, right? There's, we could have, and I do think that wick all the way down to 98 is a great place to take profit from the 107.7 short. So you could still keep the short open. I'd take profits. I would have taken profits even around now. I mean, why not? So the last real big call I made was that short Monday morning. And now we're I want to, and I was looking to short the daily, right? So let me take a look at the weekly now. Weekly, like kind of a bearish engulfing candle. You could say it's got support right here, though, at 100,009, right where these two candles close. And it's right there. If it loses that, it heads to 96,000, right? So we're kind of right at support. So basically, when you look at the bigger time frames, you could see more downside, right? They're not perfect. 5 days finally did a tweezer bottom. That's been, hasn't done that in a while. Actually, hold on. Let me go to Bitcoin USDT. It's weird how that all-time history index does that. And you got a tweezer bottom on the 5-day chart. Possible, we haven't seen one of those. The last time we had one of those, every time we've done a green candle, I mean, this one turned right eventually. But the 5-day does a pretty good job at calling a bottom. And the 5-day says that we've bottomed there at 101.250. 3-day chart doesn't look amazing. No tweezer bottom there. The daily attempted a tweezer bottom, went a little lower, and attempted a second tweezer bottom, which is, you know, somewhat bullish to me. In the daily, if you look, is like a giant double bottom in a way. You could go right to that area, 109.58. But right now, it's right there, right on some support. Almost a double bottom there on the 12, the 8 hour, and then the 4 hour. So the 4 hours attempting a higher low, right? And you remember, let's flip on the moving averages. What I was looking at was basically like this. Flip it upside down. And to me, it started to look like an ascending triangle, right? Even a symmetrical triangle. That could go either way. And mainly these do dump to the downside. Remember that? I kept saying, like, you know, most of the time they're going to dump. And I have it upside down. And that takes you to the $94,000 level that I've been watching. So, you know, if the 4 hour makes an M and loses the 21 like that, then fine. We might come back up, right? So if you can get back above the 21-day moving average, kind of like here, you see? We got back above the 21. It acts like the 200, and you got to move up. That's when I'm big, But as long as we stay below the 200 moving average, to me, it just looks like we could consolidate into a bear flag. Very, you know, again, no one has all the answers, but I'm looking for this. And look, you can see how like kind of the one at like shoulder, head, right shoulder. So I'm still, I don't know. The daily looks like we could reverse, but I'm all about that. See, when the daily lost the 200 moving average, when the daily lost the 200 with the right shoulder, that's when I start, you know, because I can see a death cross coming. Again, we've done it before. We've hung out. We've had the death cross, and then we just had a low. We could even make one of these, like a bigger divergence. Yeah, I don't see a beautiful divergence yet. There's one where this indicator is calling one out, though. My indicator is saying, hey, there's a bull div right there. You see? That's why I like this indicator. It called that bottom there. It's attempting to try to call a bottom right now. See the green R on the stochastics RSI? 1 minute's getting above the 200, but it's just been playing around with it. You know, it's not like that's chop. Yeah, if the 5, it's almost a double bottom here. See this? 1, 2. Like an Adam and Eve right there. Because the bigger time frames don't look that healthy to me, I just remain more bearish. And that daily 200, you got as a trader, you have to have lines in the sand where you're bearish or bullish based off something, like, because otherwise you won't be able to pull the short at the right time. You won't be able to pull the long. So I see more downside for Bitcoin. Like, I see us chopping around throughout the night, and like maybe 6 to 8 hours from now, we wake up in the morning, and then possibly we dump on Friday. Like, we get a bloody Friday here to 95,000. It would be great if it doubled. There's a possible double bottom. Don't get me wrong. I can see the bullishness starting to form here, but let's get above the 5 minute. Let's get above the 15-minute 200 moving average and make a flag. We flag and touch this, then probably you probably don't want to be in a short at that point. But I believe it's smarter. Look at the 333. It's smarter to stay in the short right now based on probability. So I'm still in the short, right? It's been very boring. It's $57. It's been up. I think it's been down 200. It's been up 150. It's basically been down around 35 to $40 the entire day. And I'm looking for it to come up. I'd like to add to the short there at 103.5. I was looking for that to come up today, and it almost did a couple times, but never did. So because we're below the daily 200 moving average, it tells me, and if that happens, I just see there will be some more downside for the altcoins, right? And what's interesting is this is really strange, but I've been watching it all day. Bitcoin will be at 101, right? It'll go up to 101.8. Dash will dump down to 110. Bitcoin will be at 100,000 or 101,000, like 800, right? And Dash will be at 110K. But then Bitcoin will tank like it is right now back to 100,090, 100,900, and Dash will pump back to 117. So my play is to short Bitcoin and to long Dash. And Bitcoin's going to dump and Dash is going to pump. And so now I just want to go over the narratives of the opportunity that there's possibly going on here. Now, it takes a lot of guts to do this because it's like you got to make some moves. So I did sell my Solana. You know, I'm sorry to say I did. And that's why I'm here on these weekly screen shares. I held it for like almost 2 years. And I sold it for 150K. I made about 50 grand. You know, maybe like a little bit of slippage, like 48, 49, and $300 or something. But now I have liquidity too, you see? And I can use that liquidity to do, maybe make a move on Dash and if Bitcoin, you know, and again, I don't sell Bitcoin, even though it's even tempting. I'm like, my mind's like, why not just sell Bitcoin too then if it's going to go lower down to 94, 95? But I've been very hard for me to swing trade Bitcoin. I usually just stash what I have and leave it alone. But even this time I'm wondering because it just looks so likely. But again, I may be wrong, right? But my trader instinct's telling me I'm like 90% accurate with this move down. You know, like this is one time I'm like just like I'm using all my years of doing this, and like I got Bookmap on my side. It's telling me we're going down to 95K, and I don't want to be it. But I don't know for sure. I can't guarantee it. So there's no way of knowing exactly. Very strange how every time Bitcoin dumps, Big Dash pumps every time, and they've been just like flip-flopping all day long, back and forth. It's like someone's moving the needle or something. It's weird. So today, I would stay in the short, look for to consolidate. Again, maybe we get back above the 5-minute 200 moving average. Maybe we get, I wouldn't really long till the 15-minute gets above and we see a flag somewhere 105, 106. I'd be willing to forego that pump, that $4,000 pump to get a lower risk entry. If that makes sense to you, it makes sense to me. So that's what I'm watching. I'm watching for this 1 hour to continue lower and continue to dump like this, touching the 21 above the 200. Everything's kind of moving our way. We trade this many times. The momentum's in our favor. Higher lows, higher highs, in an uptrend. The trend's our friend until it's not. And honestly, you would take this whole measured move. That really says that's where we're going to go. And that gives us like, that says about $88,000 BTC. So I'm honing in on this $88,000, $89,000 level for Bitcoin. And it's starting to look more and more likely to me. I would love to be wrong. I have enough long-term Bitcoin, you know. Let's get into kind of what I still hold and why and what I'm looking at here. So I still hold my Bitcoin, never sold it. Here's a bunch of Tether loaded up, okay? There's the Dash that I've loaded up, about 25 grand of it. I still hold Orderly, I still hold Fetch, I still hold Tau. I'm thinking of almost selling everything, like Gala, even some DJI 6930, like some Yeezy. Funny, right? Like, you know, high speculation, Naka from back in the day. A lot of these coins have just gone to zero. Like, you know, the gaming coins that I all plan, you know. Then there's base. Even the base coins went to nowhere. You know, Zeta getting pushed, Peanut, right? All that stuff. So, like, you know, Palm AI was hot, Maneki, Miro, like, right? Your meme coins are just like, and you know what? The market could rip back. Solana could go, Miro. It all could come back. You never know. So what I did is I looked at things that I just think like would never come back, and I cleared it out. Like even this AVAX, I'll probably like $165 of AVAX for what? Like, you know, just clear it out. And it was nice to just kind of clear up the portfolio too. For years, I was a altcoin speculator on multiple altcoins, right? And again, I've made enough in Bitcoin that I've to cover all those losses and some, and I've made enough in the last few years. Like, it's, you know, I risk what I could. So if I gave you the real numbers, I think it would be rude. I'm not trying to be, you know, like make you my accountant or anything. So, but just know that I didn't, you know, I won in the long run and I'm all right. But I did take some shots and they didn't all play out as much as they could have. So it is what it is, right? But, you know, and it hurts a little bit. It's been years. It's been years, right? I've been in these coins. Started stacking in 2023. And if the market gets back up to a key level, Bitcoin retraces, you know, reverses, we get above a 200 moving average, then yeah, I would think to swing trade a bigger bag in these coins. Like if Sol gets back above the daily 200 moving average, Heck, back above the 2-day. Like these coins are all pretty low compared to where I look to get in. You know, I don't love where they're at right now, personally. So, but that doesn't mean there's not opportunity in the market, which is awesome. You know, it's not always going to be Bitcoin. It may not always be Ethereum, but there could be opportunity in other places. So I'm watching, you know, this privacy coin surge here that Zcash went on. And here's the deal for ETH too. I'd look like ETH to follow the bear flag and continue somewhere down to 2,500. And I could be wrong. In 5 days, we may reverse. This could turn into an inverted head and shoulder. And everyone's like, but my whole point is, even if that happens, this dump just took so long. Like, that's going to be another, you know, 20, 30 days just to get back. And then sideways price action. And then now this month is here. Instead of this, we would have been here by November 7th. You know, now we're not going to be there till like January, February, you know, and now it's like if we do pump, you're going to hit these highs somewhere, what, in April, right? Again, I'm not, so what? You have to wait a little longer. Like maybe we're on one of these dips here. We're below the 200, everything's looking bearish. But you have to remember, that's when like the market itself too was in a better place. The moving averages were tighter on the weekly even. So I'm more bearish on Bitcoin than bullish for sure. And maybe I get caught off guard this time. And I'm completely wrong, but I got to go with the probabilities, and the probabilities tell me you got to stay short. When you lose the 200 moving average and multiple, like 3 or 4 daily candles close below the 200, you know, many times that's either an extended bearish time or a massive dump. Look at all the times Ethereum did it in its life. Let's just go over it together. We can go over any asset. It could be Walmart, it could be Tesla, it could be any asset. And this is why it scares me. It's almost like it's not the end of it all, but it's been the end of it all. So like right here, we close a daily candle below the 200 moving average. And you could be like, oh, whatever, that's not a big deal. It's maybe just one of the, you know, but that was the beginning of a bear market. You see? It was the beginning of a bear market. Like, or you know, actually we had retraced back up, and then that was like the secondary bear market move. And that's 597 all the way back down to $87. I mean, that's 2019 lows, right? You regain the 200, touch the 21, right? And we get that pump to 342, and then Ethereum loses the 200, resets, and dumps all the way back again. And each time, look, when it loses the daily 200 moving average, we take a beat down. Like we took a massive beat down there. We took a nice beat down there. We took a beat down, COVID. And then it gets back above, and it goes on a massive tear. And we have beautiful injection, and life is beautiful, right? And we play with it right here. And you could say we're just in this right now. We're just in a slight correction. 1, 2, 3. We're going to get back above it. Even this, like, you know, it's just a slight correction. And again, maybe we'll make a bull div like this. We could be in this. It's possible. Again, like I said before, though, that was when, you know, other coins were, you know, again, then we came up, shoulder, head, right shoulder. Again, losing the daily 200, we dump hard. Losing the daily, we dump hard. Losing the daily, we dump hard. And now we're playing with losing the daily 200 moving average again. So we may at least come down to 2,800 or may down to 21.3. I just feel like after a move like this, how do you not eventually come and test this, you know? Maybe you bounce again. And again, what that does is it means it's like by the time you're back to where we were, it's the end of December. It's just like 2 more months of holding and watching price action go up and down. So to me, it's like, it's getting where my risk to reward isn't worth the time. You see what I mean? Like, I could invest in another business. I could spend time. You know what I mean? It's just like, I could trade these. I could trade the stock market. I could short something. I could, you know, the privacy coins. So, yeah, I didn't sell any of my Ethereum. I've been holding ETH since like 89, a few $100. I don't really buy ETH. I don't really participate in DCAing. I've been holding, I don't know, 30, almost 40 Ethereum for, I don't know how long I've had it. 8 years, 5 years, you know, on and on. You know, it started a long time ago. So I just don't see the reason to sell it. I just hold it forever. It's kind of like it'll be there, you know. But yeah, I do see that like a lot of other coins are just like, let's look at Caspa, long hold, like, and it's proof of work. It's great. Everyone loves it. Back at 5 cents. I mean, 5 cents ain't bad. Is this the bottom? I mean, do I unload Caspa? Probably got like 50K still in there, 40K, but is it worth, I'm like, let's see if it really becomes a proof of work over time. Even still, like this breaks out. Like I see it could come up, come down again, breaks out, does its thing, retest, boom. And it's like, May or June of 2027. So I wait 2 more years, and that's fine. Like, let me watch the market. If the market gets strong again, I'll DCA, I'll add a position, and I'll ride the wave. But every time I've got into this idea that we were on a wave up, no. On a wave up, no. On a wave up, no. Like, no. It's been a brutal reversal every time. So it's been like, why would I want to believe that again? Again, I'm not giving up the whole market. I want to make that clear. Like, I still hold Bitcoin. I still hold, look, I should show you 500 grand in an account in total cryptocurrency. Right. And I still hold another about $200,000 or more. I still hold about 800 grand in crypto, which is insane. Not including Bitcoin, or actually including that, just those Bitcoins there. So fine. But so I still hold about like 700 grand in altcoins. So as much as someone I've sold out, I mean, I'm probably deeper than most people ever will be in their life. Right. And there's people way deeper than me. I'm not saying I'm the biggest, I'm a whale even. I'm a minnow, but so yeah, certain coins I think I'm just going to hold but to me, I also wanted to see if I can redistribute the money and find out if we can get some gains. So let's talk about what happened in the last 2 weeks. We saw Zcash. I kept putting it out. We did a pretty good job. I even saw the elites putting it out. And, Arthur Hayes, a known person, talks about it going to $10,000, $1,000 to $10,000 a coin fast. And I think that gets people FOMOing very, very hard. Now, this is a rising wedge that could break out parabolically. And at this point, it could go up maybe. But you can see, I mean, the 21's getting away from the 200. The daily's way away from the 21-day moving average. You kind of had the blow off top outside the rising wedge already. So you have falling volume with rising price. You're way away from the 21 there. So, to me, we don't have to dump horribly, but, maybe back to this Fib 1.8, something like this. And if we're super bullish, maybe we just go sideways and continue, which could happen. I would definitely watch this, but jumping in right now, the sad thing is there's something up with this coin. I feel like you could jump in right now, and it could just continue to pump. It could do an unrealistic, but you have to. But to me, it's more like gambling, than trading. So that's that idea there. So for me, I'd have to be more cautious and wait for the less risky entries. I would love to go all the way, but I just know that's not the best result every time, right? Now ZK pumps, and that has ZK Sync in it, ZK Sync technology, right? Which is which is privacy. ZK snarks, all that. Again, the creepy thing about this is Bitcoin could tank and they could all just tank with Bitcoin. But it's looking like they're holding their own. I mean, look at these uptrends they're in. And so I'd be looking for this to bounce. An aggressive entry for this would be right now, ZK. Oh, my finger. This continues to rip too, this DJNAI. Crazy. And I looked at it over here. I was like, I just like the name. It looks interesting. And then, of course, I swear I'm psychic or something because I'll look at a coin. I'll find it on my own late at night, just searching. I'm like, oh, that looks interesting. Like Giggle. I was like, Giggle's the one. I know Giggle's going to, and Giggle rips, right? And it's weird. I guess everyone else could see that Giggle, but I hone in on Giggle of every coin. And the next day, Giggle was like the biggest gainer of the entire market when Bitcoin tanked. Remember that day? It's weird to me. I'm like, I'm sometimes I'm like right there, but I don't buy it myself, or I sniff it out and I know, but it's like, I'm like, but why was I thinking of that one coin at that one time? It bugs me out a lot. And it's happened to me many, many times where I'm honing in on something and it turns out to be the thing. It's weird. It's weird. And it feels like a coincidence, but it happens so much. I'm like, is it a coincidence? So am I honing in with intuition or something? I believe there's definitely intuition out there, and we can feel the future in some ways. Let me take a look at this live stream. I didn't even look at it here. Oh man, I thought I wasn't live. I was like, oh man, I messed up. So that's why everyone thinks I'm a perma bull, but now in a market like this, they go, wow, Sam's changed. Why isn't he bullish anymore? It's like, well, I'm just a trader, man. I look at the market. We'll catch the uptrend when it comes. We will do. We will. The ICB caffeine AI is really good. I know, right? All right, sorry. I was on ZK. Let's get back. So ZK Sync, man, it's on my radar right now. And, man, this thing could moon. 12 cents is the next target I would be looking at for it to moon to. That's the measured move, right? So from about 7 cents to 12 cents. Again, it's high risk right now. There's a lot going on. But you're live, baby. Thank you, man. So these are the hot coins right now, the privacy coins. We looked at Mina today. You should have watched Sin City Crypto. I was on there today. I did post a link. I don't go on stream for any reason. Like when I go on a stream, there's going to be alpha. I might say something on my stream I haven't said, and I got so much women on in my mind, and I can't tell you when I'm going to say what. So I would get, whenever I'm live, I would catch it because I might I just don't know. My subconscious mind is crazy, and sometimes it sees things in the charts whenever I'm just live. And I come to epiphany sometimes on those when I'm getting interviewed or when I'm featured on another person's channel. And I also have a really good time with Rob and Dave. Like, I know them so well, that it's very comfortable to be on camera with them and to, build that content. We mentioned Mina, and Mina is actually getting mentioned by Token Metrics too. We're going to bring some Token Metrics into this tonight as well. And this is kind of fun because the last time Bitcoin was dumping, right, it was like it was no love. Now there's something brewing with the altcoins here. There's something going on here. This could actually kind of, maybe this could be the spark that the market needs, right? It was good Sin City. Yeah, Sin City was amazing, man. It was a dope segment. Thank you for saying that. Yeah. I had a really good time on the show today. So I'm looking for Mina. Again, I'd like to get into Mina there at 18. Once it bounces, aggressive entry is now at 16. I could see Mina run it up. Funny, Digibyte is going up too, which is weird. It's like Digibyte? I don't know. I just never loved Digibyte that much. Wow, it really did bounce from when we looked at it on the November 3rd there. Look at that. 707 all the way to 11 cents. So legacy coins out of nowhere. I think Decred was going up. Am I wrong? Yeah, Decred. Look, Decred's in this flag. I'm not saying these things are going up for sure. I want you to kind of look at what's looking different compared to the rest of the market. What's been pumping? Why have these coins have been pumping for the last few days? Now they're consolidating a little bit. This one's not as strong as ZK. Then there's ZF too, which is ZK Swap Finance. Yeah, Decred looks interesting to me. Mina looks interesting to me. Dash looks interesting to me. Right? They've run up a little bit already, right? So, you may even, smart people could be taking profits out of them. But there's definitely more attention on them right now than anything else. So there's something there. I don't shy away from narratives. So we got DCR, we got ZK. And these are, you can see the areas, the previous supports and resistance areas. Like right there. So there's good confluence fundamentals here. Again, it's high risk, high reward, which is sad. Anything could happen. It's not a frothy market, so you have to know you're definitely taking some chances here. Bam, that gets up somewhere to 12 cents. I'm watching ZK and then ZF USDT, which is ZK Swap Finance. Lower market cap there. It slipped below the level. Remember, every time Bitcoin kind of gets strong, these might not pump. If Bitcoin pumps, these might actually lose value. It's weird. They might not pump with Bitcoin because they were pumping against Bitcoin. It's weird. They were like, they were anti the pump. So they were counter pumping BTC. So I don't know if they'll continue to pump if Bitcoin pumps. You know what I mean? They might stall out. It's weird. But this stays above the 200 on the 1 hour and starts to consolidate. So you're looking for it to bounce. You're not looking to be a hero and buy the bottoms here. You're looking for it to bounce and consolidate. That's why we set alerts and we watch for the alerts. The alerts may never hit. We don't have to trade it then. Only trade, setups that the alerts hit. No other setup you need to trade. That's why you should have all alerts waiting, and you should only be trading things with alerts. Because that means you put the time in to work and prepare for the trade way before the trade happened. Then there's Dash. Again, they all have this high or low hanging out right here. Dash at 115, right? So the idea is that Bitcoin goes sideways. These keep going sideways. Bitcoin collapses. The short pays us. And we swing trade these altcoins, and they pay us too. And in 5 days from now, we're paid. And we get to celebrate gains while everyone else is depressed and not focused on opportunity. Now, worst that could happen is, Bitcoin rips. I get stopped out on my short and I get stopped out on these swings. I won't lose that much. I'm not over-risking. And then the Bitcoin that I bought at the low starts to appreciate. And then, if the market goes back, I can throw money back into Solana. I can throw back in, and I can start swing trading, and the whole market will come back. So to me, it's, and again, you don't have to be risky like me. You could just kind of observe and wait. But to me, I gotta always be looking for opportunity, and I gotta be able to act on it, right? Otherwise, I'm just another person that just never made a move, and I'm a mover and a shaker. I make moves. I'm not just gonna sit there and deal. I got laid off. I'm going to go make a job, find my next job, make it happen, right? Find a way to earn. And I'm not saying these are all easy and there's no risk at all. There's a lot of risk for sure. It's very, 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 very tough time. But there's opportunity. There always seems to be opportunity. Money Dash at 115 now. And Bitcoin's still just hovering, 101,450. And I went over Bitcoin thoroughly. Like, what I showed you for Bitcoin really is not going to change. If you get back above the 15-minute 200 MA, then we're starting to, the short's starting not to play out. Let's look at token metrics. Look, they got Decred like we talked about there. ZK Sync that we talked about. Digibyte. Whitebit, ICP. ICP also looks pretty good. They got Mina. We went over Mina. Interesting, right? Zcash could continue to pump. It's higher risk, though. These other coins haven't really gotten their move yet, or as big of a move. So, like, I'm watching Mina here. I'd like to see Mina bounce. And look, Token Metrics has it too. So like we talked about it today on Sin City, Token Metrics has it. Remember, he's like, I got it around 13. There's another one I put on the radar with an alert to the group. So there's some action tonight to pay attention to. It's kind of cool. I'm all about volatility and opportunity. I just want to make sure there's opportunity. Market doesn't have to go perfect every time. But you can't sit flat with nothing, So yeah, that makes sense. Let's get back into token metrics there. Soon, recently turned bullish. Trust, Intuition Research, Sudang, recently turned bullish, says their indicators, right? Best daily performance, Sudang, DGen AI, Sapien, Filecoin, somebody says a flipping, MBG. recently turned bearish. AXPT 8 definitive ocean protocol. Worst daily performance. Jelly took a beat down. Fire pool. Worthless coin. Hey, you'd think that would have a bad day. Hey, it's worthless over here. So there's definitely some possibilities to be had. Sapien was hot. It pumped back to the 21-day moving average on the 1 hour. You would expect that after a move. Huge pump away from the 21 there. You wrote your name, BB and Summer? Did you write those? Oh, wow. Those are so amazing, baby. Oh, that's the good egg. He looks like the good egg. Yeah. This is me. I'm a good egg. Am I a good egg? Yes. She made me a little egg. See, that's me. That looks like the good egg from the book. No, it is the good egg. Yeah. But I painting him another color. You're the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life. I love you. Oh, man, my kids, man. About to go to sleep, but they had to show me what they were drawing. I missed them on Thursday nights, you know. But I got my daddy's going into the office. Saturday nights, Thursday nights, and Sunday nights. 3 nights a week, right? My wife puts them to bed and I work. That's fine. That's life. I gotta grind, man. Sapien, away from the 21 on the 4. Wow, looks like sketchy on the daily, you know. Maybe it pumps, you know, it could pump again, but to me, of all the other ones, it's a little, like, it's not as rock solid as like Mina maybe, but, and it already kind of had a move, right? 24 cents all the way to 55. Dang, man. It's crazy how, like, the second Bitcoin's iffy and people don't pay attention. This was yesterday. These things started yesterday. It's just crazy, right? Like, this thing went from 13 cents to 50 cents. Don't get FOMO for the stuff, but definitely say, hey, you know, there's swing trades to be out. And say, hey, I'm not going to chase, but I'm going to look for that setup next time. I'm going to look for the 21 to touch with the low stochastic next time. I'm going to look for previous resistance and a support bounce. And maybe this thing does go to 68 the way it's looking, but to me, very high risk. Right? And Bitcoin bounces back to 1015. It's so interesting how it just keeps swinging around. There is a chance it's bullish there there is a chance it can get that reversal and get above that 15-minute 200. We could wake up tomorrow with a massive short squeeze, like back to 110 again, like nothing ever happened. And all the altcoins, it could happen. And you'd be like, oh, but again, I have a plan. I have a game plan. I didn't just panic sell altcoins and jump out of the market and say I'm done with crypto. Panic selling is when you sell it all and leave cryptocurrency. You go back a day later, you look, or 2 weeks later, and you see that everything you sold is up huge. I took profits on certain things. I redistributed my money. I made sure in case we have a massive dump, I have more capital on the sidelines. And if we come back, I'm ready to go back in with full force. So I'm not stressed about it. I would have liked it to go perfect, a lot more perfect, but it's okay. You know, it's okay. So yeah, the market looks interesting. Let's take a look here now at the analytics and the ratings as well. And there's that zero knowledge. You know, they like this sector, right? Zero Zcash is huge. I mean, top sector gainer, but zero knowledge proof. AI, DPIN still, BitTorrent, Cognify, Monero, Pancake Swap. Remember my ex. Funny. So right now it's ZK, it's privacy, it's Monero, right? Even Monero looks hot. That's XMR. Like Monero looks like it's gonna break out of this little. It went up, it pumped dump, but it's back inside that little flag again. I'd look for it to continue to go up somewhere to like 405. That's what I would be looking for. Hold on one second. Monero's a more long-term, bigger coin too. It's like the safer, but again, I don't love this structure, but I wouldn't be surprised if privacy coins just take off tonight and Bitcoin doesn't. So I'm speculating on that happening. Maybe I'm be wrong, but I'm speculating on it, and I've got some data behind it, and it looks right. But hey, there's no guarantees. I went down to the ratings already, but and this is the things that they think are bullish today. Look, 11.5. They got the last signal date. Volume very small. There's 94 million in volume on Trust. I don't know what this is, but Trust made move, right? Funny to see Sudang back in the game again. So I post these to the token metric section of the trading group, so you have access to this. This costs money. I have a $3,000 NFT that gives me access to this stuff. And it also is like about $100 a month. So it's a blessed inclusion in your crypto life or Discord. And those are the coins they're bullish on. You see their Beldex keeps coming up. That might have some privacy installed. So let's look at why is Beldex coming up, right? So then you kind of go on a little deep dive here and you go to Beldex on CoinMarketCap. Money isn't free. We got to put in the work. While everyone else is out hanging out, focusing on other stuff, we're focused on what matters, right? So Beldex, you can see, has been moving. 10 million in volume, $630 million, right? It's everywhere. It's a decentralized, confidential ecosystem for secure digital interactions. The concept of a project was developed, launched in the safe. The Beldex project is committed to enhancing user data protection and their confidentiality online against privacy, right? There's a privacy section to this. Ring signatures, confidential transactions, and robust consensus algorithm, right? Stealth addresses match the original address of the sender. Okay? What makes Beldex unique? Beldex addresses some of the confidential issues in crypto. The Ring C protocol is responsible for confidentiality of transactions with max sender information, while Stealth address masks the original address of the sender receipt. Beldex also masks other details of the transactions, including the transfer amount. With ring signatures, confidential transactions, and a robust consensus algorithm, this is hot. BDX. So anything that has anything to do with privacy is running. And that's kind of, it's you know, and again, when you have, when you have these, you know, digital IDs and everyone getting trapped in the matrix and that whole idea, the idea of a privacy blockchain starts to feel really, really valuable. Because how else can you gain your own privacy back? Right? How could you not get hacked? How could someone know everything you have in your wallet? Like, how is that fair? Just because you made a lot, should everyone know what's in your wallet? This thing could go up, right? And we're watching that up to 9 cents and further. So Beldex is on the radar now. And you can see now we're building narratives, we're doing research, and then we're also coinciding with what we already do, which is token metrics. And we're getting a bit of a story. And then we can set alerts. Boom, hit the copy button, send the alerts over to the altcoin section. And now we're not just trading whatever. We're trading a plan. We're trading tickers that make sense to us. We're trading things that we can see, taste, that we know about, right? This other stuff, Bear Taco, this Monad stuff, that's all a little, it's outside of it. Monad is interesting because I think Monad may have some privacy installed in some way. So and Monad is new. The chance Monad takes off with this narrative too. I would watch Monad pretty closely. This Degen AI, I can't believe it. I had a feeling this thing was going to go up. Just the name, D-Agent AI, like Degen AI, but D-Agent AI, Degen Agent. You know, I'd look for it to possibly do one of these. There's a chance this thing continues to cook too. What I love about the alert system is, watch this. This is what's going to be really cool. Is you'd hold this, you hit create, you show this, right? and then you say, and then look, and now I just go to the alerts. Look, every alert I just made, AIA, BDX, MENA, ZF, it's a list. It's a list of what's hot. Zora, if you look at it, Zora actually was hot before the market took a weird move. Everyone keeps talking about it. I hear about it all the time. If Zora bounces off this level and gets tight again, I could see Zora doing some damage. You know, people are still speculating on tech. And that's not going to change just because Bitcoin takes a beatdown. There's still tech out here, you know? And that's like, I would, and again, this doesn't mean you buy this right now, right? You buy this, oh, Sam's call. This is not a call. This is, we're going to watch this coin and buy it if it gets into the right place. We got a plan in place. We're not just going to ape into anything. We got a plan in place, okay? Let me pop out the chat here. And the dentist wasn't too bad. It was just an assessment. My cleaning is in like a week or two. Do you make those yellow prices on the chart with the hotkeys? No, what I did is I just went here to price note. I use price note so much and I star it. It ends up kind of coming up here. Now, price note doesn't always look like this, but you can change the settings and change the background and the colors. This just makes it real easy for traders in my group to see the levels, right? It makes it fun and interesting. And you can tell it's my chart. Like no one else does this on the whole internet with the yellow things like that. So it's like, you know, it's a signature thing for me. Yeah, so I'm swing trading. I'm in there. I'm taking a shot. The bot's got to get out. Well, my one concern is the bot not being able to get out. It's my only one concern here. But it's not in too big of an order, so I could cut it off. It's only in 3 orders. I could cut them off. It'll be its first loss ever, but it wouldn't have taken a loss if I let it do its thing either, you know? I'm just pretty weary. How about the McAfee X? I never heard about it, honestly. It's funny. You think I would know? I was one of the last people to interview John. People don't realize that. He granted me an interview, and I was one of the last people to interview him, man. Before things started getting crazy. VPay's on the radar too as well. I would write that down on virtual. Beldex looks interesting to me because it's, you know, it's a little more under the radar right now. Crazy how big the market cap is because the chart doesn't look amazing. But yeah, privacy coins on the move. Bitcoin holding 1016 again. It's funny. Maybe this injection in privacy coins saves the market. The market stabilizes because you have to think about this is bringing money into the total market cap. So let's take a look at total for a second and see where we stand with the moving averages. Let's see here. I have old indicators I've used for years and things all over the place. All right. I mean, that's turning up on the MACD. You're beat down on the RSI. What time frame are we on? Is that the 8 hours pretty beat up, looking for a double bottom. We could come and snatch this, you know, we could come up there and just touch that liquidity, even if we're still bearish. You know, if the daily gets back above the 200, then I'm like, okay. This was a discount buy. My only thing is, Unless it just recovers here, does a little dip, and then flies, right? Even then, like March of 2026, January, February, March, like one more rally. I'll have capital and I'll trade the rally. It'll be amazing if we get it. I'll be here and I'll see it and I'll react to it. I know I will because those are my trader instincts I've honed in on over time. So it would happen, but you could still say, no, we're going to bounce. And we're going to bounce off the bottom of this channel back to the upside. If we do, we'll regain that 15-minute 200 moving average. And we will flag out at something. We'll do something like this. And we'll get on out of here. So if we're bullish, we'll likely do something like this and consolidate and break out. If we're bearish, we'll stay below the 15. We'll get rejected and we'll roll over. I'm looking for the rollover. I don't know what's going to happen for sure. I wish I did. Look at the UST.D on the 2-week. Probably beat, right? No, it looks good. Looks like it's about to explode and break out a little bit, right? It's going to shoulder, head, right shoulder. It just broke the trend line. Agreed? I mean, you see bullishness for this, don't you? I mean, is that what you're saying? Yeah. I think it's a collection of things. Yes, at the beginning, there was a lot of people that cared about cryptocurrency. They were profit seekers like me. I was a profit seeker, but I had a heart. Like I cared about projects. I'd like to invest in emerging tech and watch it evolve. Like I really liked that. I was like, oh, watch this project built, and I saw them grow, and I got in early, and you know. It's man. Yeah, that looks like it could make a move up. I mean, that's your measured move of an inverted head and shoulder, right? Yeah. Someone says if all still bounce, even coins like Cardano, they'll go pretty low. Yeah, they will. What did Cardano do in the last 8 years? What city did it run? Like, what huge thing did it change? You know what I mean? Like, we got to be real with ourselves. I love Cardano, and I believed in Charles and his visions, and I still hope, but it's just, we got to be realistic, don't we? Like, I don't know. We can only, like, you know, blow hot air into these projects. Remember Alex? It was 9 cents, $9. It was 9 cents. We wrote it up all the way to 45 cents. This thing is a quarter of a penny now. It's going to take so much for it to get back to its all-time high. Like, that's cooked. All those BRC20 projects, cooked. SRM, Serum Labs, was known to be a good project back in the, like, look, what the, cooked. Right? One, Harmony, like, the people thought this was cool. They like, oh, yeah, I'll get some, what? Maybe it comes back. Maybe this is the bear market. I mean, but this is the bear market, though. And, like, I accumulate in the bear market. But I don't accumulate when things just keep getting sold over and over again. Like, that's not a bear market. That's a sell-off. You know what I mean? That never retraced. A lot of people assume from, like, buying the dip to buying trash. You know what I mean? Like, buying things that are just, like, complete trash. Yeah. Hey, Sam, thank you for your answer, our questions. Your conviction is motivating a lot of people. You are impacting my life for the better, improvements in every aspect of life. Thank you. LMTS 30-minute 886 bounce, everyone. He's putting out there something if you want to check what he said there. or USDC? Or. Wow, that thing just soared, huh? Dang. You said your brother put 9 grand and now he's sitting on 300,000. I mean, 10 grand went up to 280. He did a 28x. That makes sense. Yeah, 10x would be, yeah, he is sitting on about 300 grand. He is, dang. Wow. In a few days, too, like fast. I don't know. Where do people know? How do people find this? Like, how do they know about this thing? Like, amidst all the insanity, something's always going up in crypto. There's always something. Look at that beautiful flag. And again, if you put on a 21-day moving average, it was hitting the 21. Now it's got 117 on the market cap. This token is mintable. I don't know what that means. Let's take a look at the anti-rug, though. We're going to go to antirug.com.ai, and we're going to put in this token address. See if it's got a good score. 57. Top individual holds 4%. That ain't bad. There are 18,000 wallets. The top 10 holders control 30%, though. So 10 holders control 28% of the wallet. The top 20 hold 30, and the top 100 own 66. Distribution is too concentrated. So it's definitely owned by a few, and they're going to dump on you at the right time. So whatever they're doing, they know what they're doing, and if you're not one of them, hey, ride the wave, who knows? But it's, yeah, we don't know. So again, I'm calling for Bitcoin to just collapse and rip down, and for the privacy coins to go explode tonight. But it may take longer and go sideways. And it could double bottom, and I could be wrong. That's the sad thing about trading is every call I make may not be the greatest. But I hope that every time I do it, the odds are better that I'm right, better than wrong. So. Anyway, with that being said, I am going to look at a few more things and jump out for the night. Man, what a day. Proud of how everyone in the group is handling it too. I'm proud of how I love the streams have been good. Today was a great stream. I'm overwhelmed with kind of what I create, what we created as a team, as a group of people. And it's just a blessing. Like the ups and downs of the price action, but like, hey, we have a community and we built something that will be here 10 years from now. And to me, that's inspiring. Let's see here. That's funny. We can start now. I'm here. I like that. Appreciate the honest chat, Sammy. Love the 99 for that. God bless you, man. I hope you're doing well. Exactly. I'd be getting out, someone says. Yeah. Any thoughts on bullish coin? Going through the bear markets has prepared us for these cycles. All will be good. Yep. And that's why, too, we have a lot of people in here that have been around for a long time in the group. You're not sitting with a bunch of newbies. Like, we've a good core amount of people, the lifers, they've been around. And right now, whoever's sticking around has either got heavy conviction, really wants to learn, or has been around. Like, so it's like we got a good group of peeps. Someone said BDX took off. Yeah, made a little move there, 8 up to 8.4. Yeah. Don't be surprised, man. Token metrics, they've been spot on about a lot of stuff, but we'll see. You did good today on Sin City, this morning's class, and now get some rest. See you in the AM. Thank you, man. I appreciate you saying that. Everyone, I love you. I will see you tomorrow in the morning. Focus on what we went over. Pay attention to Bitcoin. I told you what I'm doing. I've been honest as I can, and we'll go from there. Have a great night. Be safe. I love you all. And I'll kick it with you tomorrow morning. Thank you so much, everyone. God bless. Stay amazing. We have a great life. Look at this. I'm breathing air. I'm alive, man. People that woke up and weren't able to stay, you know, people woke up this morning, like my mom, the day she woke up, she didn't think she was going to die that day. There's people that woke up this morning, they got their keys, they got their car, they went out, they wrote a note, they got a doctor's appointment for next week, and they ain't going to make that appointment, man. You know, my mom died with a dermatologist appointment. I always say I shouldn't keep it, but I keep the card because it's her handwriting, and it's like, you know, December 6th, she would have went to that appointment just a couple weeks later. You know, she was going to find out just to make sure any marks on her face, she didn't have any skin, you know what I mean? She was always taking care of herself, man. Always doing what she should do so her family, she could be there for her family. My mom's only job was being a mom. Like, she was a school teacher. She loved those kids, but she was a great mom. You know, I love you all. Call your mom, please, for me, if she's alive and well. And